Good morning, everybody. I think we can start. We got also Thomas with us. He joined, remotely. Probably it's also the video on, so even better. So we thought it was only the audio, so the video is on. So it's a good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. So today we will talk a bit about process mining and AI with process mining, so which is a combination of the two. This will be hopefully a nice conversation among us, so not like a presentation where we are going to share, concrete experience with Thomas, Antonio, and Giuseppe, and having a view on what is the topic, what is the market, how's it going. But before we start, I would like to introduce myself first. So my name is Gianfranco Cuscito. I'm from Boston Consulting Group. Specifically, I'm leading BCG Platinum, which is the unit within the BCG ecosystem focused on tech and digital. And here we have Antonio.
Hi, everyone. I'm Antonio Varone, and I'm head of digital innovation at Irian Group, that is one of main multi-utility company based in northwest of Italy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Giuseppe Pavone. I am responsible for voice of customer in Poste Italiane. Poste Italiane is quite similar to Le Poste. It's a multi-industry company, and then I explain more. Thank you.
And Thomas?
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry for not being there, and even so sorry for my colleagues. My name is Thomas Blázquez, and right now I am responsible of digital transformation in Aqua Power, that is a company established in the Middle East that we are developing some kind of projects around the world in terms of energy.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. So, as said, we are here to start and to talk about process mining. And when we talk about process mining, I don't know if we have already the presentation on. Honestly, I will not bother you with a lot of slides, but I'm a consultant, so few slides, very few, just to help us to go through the topic. So that's why. But then, as I said, open question. We have 15 minutes at the end for question, but I would suggest, whenever you want to make a question, please do it. So, process mining. When we talk about this topic, we will go through three main questions today. First of all, what is, process mining? Why process mining, is booming now, and what is the need which we try to address? And then how, so what means, so implementation, what does it mean? What should be, the implementation path for that? And this is just to have an overview on why process mining, it's impactful, and why the market is booming so much, and what to do, in order to start, evaluating, this technology in our company. In order to do that, of course, we will get, the experience of our guest, today, which will talk about concrete examples of usage. So let's start from a bit, the market. So if we look at the last 5 years, process mining, the growth grew year on year at a rate of 50%, which is amazing. Much more than, many technologies. Only AI is today, growing faster than that, okay, when we look at technology. The overall estimated, market value in 2023, it is $1.5 billion US. Again, another amazing number. But why that? The reason is quite easy. We have, if you see, we have some tech trend which require or opened the opportunity for process mining. We have AI, the booming of AI and data analytics. Of course, in order to, with AI having, the support of process mining, it's a great, a great boom, a great impact. You start mapping your process, and then through AI, you can get a lot of insight. So it's an enabler. Digital twin. There is a trend where we want to mirror our company in order to make simulation, to test new product, to test new organization, new processes. In order to do that, you can imagine how, the process mining can help. Another big trend is process automation, RPA. And here, I think, very easy explanation. If process mining is, the mapping, of existing disease processes, through data, then RPA, of course, is the main, technology who can get benefits from process mining. And last but not least, in general, digital transformation. The more we invest in digital, the more we will need, theoretically, process mining. Why that? Let's imagine, what happened when we start a transformation, even of core platform like next generation ERP, next generation CRM, or whatever. The first thing, we spend a lot of time in mapping DSEs. We do projects, we support clients in this kind of transformation. So now, what is the trend now? Making transparency and, mapping automatically, all the process within the company is a great accelerator of those kind of transformation. Many times, when we start an ERP transformation, typically what we do now, we try to say, okay, this is the current status. We migrate into the new environment, trying to minimize the effort and the change. Otherwise, the effort will be too much, even understanding how it works today. Now we have a big opportunity. So we can start from scratch, because we don't need to map or we don't need to spend months to map disease and to understand how it works today. So when we say digital transformation, again, is a very common word, and everything can converge in what is digital transformation. But it's everything which is very much related to how to optimize process. Okay, then again, those four digital or tech trend requires a lot of process mining. There is a big opportunity. The other reason why, and now we look at more on the business need, and this is something that we will try to also get, a concrete, example on this. Why we do process mining? I would say there is a need of process transparency. This could be a reason, and then because I want to make a process efficiency, or I need, as we said, to invest in new technology, so I need to make an overall transformation. So this is an accelerator. But process transparency, process efficiency is, are key benefits for adopting process mining. Again, another one, which is more and more common, is time to market. Let's assume that we want to map a process which is how we interact with our customer, and we want to reduce, for example, we want to improve the experience of the customer. So again, process mining will help because it's, a way to map and understand how to reduce the time, the overall time of the process. And another, reason why we typically push on process mining is also compliance, to understand where we have risk. So again, it's more typically in some sectors like banking, like financial financial service overall, so insurance, where the regulation is super strong, and we need to have, let's say, a clear understanding on how it is working in order to map not only process, but even the risk associated to that. Again, is another big opportunity. Of course, this is just a summary, but just to understand what and why we use process mining and why we believe the market, is an opportunity for the market. And we are also investing a lot in that. So, I mean, all the consulting firms are investing, from system integrator to the strategic consulting firm, for different approach, different reason. For us, is how to, bring the business need, to our customer to allow them to achieve that. While for more the technical provider is to more on the adoption, so technically the adoption of the technology. But everybody is investing a lot on that. But I think I talk too much. So probably it's more interesting to hear directly from our guests some of the examples. So I make a question which is for everybody. So what was the approach for you to process mining? What was the need you wanted to address in your experience, Antonio?
Yeah, in our experience, I guess that the big opportunity is the business value you can generate by data process mining, because first time I faced with technology, I felt in love with technology, not at all, because I guess it's something mostly related with data engineering and so on. But I felt in love with the outlook that you can give to the business, because you can create the opportunity to generate efficiency to the EBITDA in order to focus on processes, and then detect the pain point, also define the remediation action on the pain point, and create a closer interaction between the IT or the technology department and the business. And that's a great opportunity, because we use also the data process mining as a business translator, because when you face with a pain point, of course, and is also easy to understand, because you have dashboard by the suite that you adopt. It's so easy to talk with the business. And on the other side, you have also the opportunity to create efficiency in investment of the IT, because usually, I guess, that in every complex organization as Iren or large company that you can find across Italy, Europe, and the world, we are also driven by market trends, and usually market trends drives you to have investment on the hype and not on where you need really. So that's the big opportunity we have seen with data process mining. And of course, the approach is an approach related with the strategy you have to adopt with new technology, because it's not easy to introduce new technology in large organization. So our approach has been made by 3 steps. The first 2 steps are in parallel. So on a side, define a strategy adoption, okay, with the tool. So say, okay, let's map the also the most fitting trends or most fitting process you can put under data process mining, then match it with your organization, because in every organization you have any features to consider. So be creator of a tailor-made solution for your organization. That's the first step, and then define a roadmap more or less of 3 years. That has been our approach when we started with the first year with the easy to apply process, and then go ahead with the business critical processes, also because it's not too easy Okay, start with the business critical project also because the business value you can generate is so high, so it's so safe. Start with the easy to apply project. And then on the other side, find a sponsor because it's relevant, it's fundamental, find a sponsor in the organization in order to have a flagship pilot project to show across the company because not everyone can understand or want to understand what are you developing or what you want to introduce. So in my in Pilz, that has been our approach, and most of all, what I can say is also that the remediation action you can find and you can detect by data process mining are related with three main topics. As you said before, the first one is related with the automation. The second is related with the artificial intelligence, and the third one that it's also easy for the IT department is business changes, because sometimes manager, when faced with the pain points, faced with the extra system topics and see all the exception to the happy flow by spaghetti diagram, usually they say, okay, I need to change something in my organization and not only push the IT for automation. So if I close just my speech and then I leave Giuseppe share his experience with the mantra that is fall in love with your company and not only with technology.
Thank you, Antonio.
Okay, thank you, Antonio.
Giuseppe, what is your experience with?
Allora, I start with the focus. No? Poste Italiane is focusing on an outstanding customer experience. Quindi our goal is to improve their customer experience for each 35 million of customers. And Poste Italiane has 160 years of history. And to maintain the important result that we achieved to date, we have to invest in our customer. This is our main goal. Poste Italiane is a multi-industry platform at the moment. We have 4 main business operations. One is logistic, another is, and there is a huge transforming now because we are moving from a traditional mail to parcel. Then we have a financial, insurance, life services, and finally payment and utilities. And in this multi-industry platform, the customer is in the center. And we believe that process mining helps us to improve the experience. We listen every day our customer. We collect about 1 million of feedbacks each year. And we put in place a complete customer experience management platform. We listen our customer, but also the frontline colleagues, and leveraging from their feedbacks to drive the continuous improvement. But in this way, we reach important results. In the last 6 years, our customer experience indicator has increased about 10 points %. We think that also because of this effort, the continuous improvement. Really, the process mining gives us another point of view, because it allows us to find out a new area for improvement. Because as Antonio already said, with the diagram spaghetti, the real processes, especially in customer perspective, don't run how we expected. It's quite different. To connect the voice of customer of that of processes is our goal to discover the new area and improve customer experience.
Thank you, Giuseppe. And last but not least, Thomas, what about your experience? You're on mute.
Yeah. Sorry, I was in mute. If I have to explain, summarize which was our experience, I have to explain before that 1 year ago, we started with a new mantra in the company that the mantra was data, our key strategic asset. And this is why being a company that makes construction and operates more than 17 plants in the world, you can imagine which is the value that we can have from those data and having a limited number of technologies so spread around the world. How we approach explaining which is the journey in order to leverage which was the main benefit of this process mining technology. But I feel that one of the critical issues was when we started this journey, and this journey was defined in three streams. One of them obviously is technological, that we need to create our data platform where we have all the near real-time data and batch data for all the system application and so on. It was very important to define the governance model. So we were able to allocate the process owner and data owners. So everyone start to define which was the right source of data, which was the right definition of the KPI, and that give everyone a sense of a property about really which is my process and which are the key process indicators that are able to measure that process. And the third one was the transformation journey, trying to leverage on a cultural shift, being able that explain everyone that it could be absolutely relevant to inject data into the decision-making process. And if I can say something more, breaking silos. So being able to share those performance KPIs between all the company. In that way, what was a natural steps was what can we do in order to deep dive into those KPIs and try to understand how we can improve. And in that moment, process mining gave us this new step. We started with a process that the process is procurement to pay. I think that it was a good process because you know that procurement to pay means that most of all the areas in the organization are involved. Anyone can do a purchase request, and then are involved other areas as central procurement or warehouse management or financial or treasury management. So that gives a sort of socializing, which will be the spirit of the project and make a lot of people working on that. We have a good facilitator in the project that was that all the data sources were identified in the technical data platform. Doing this project, so we were able to gain the visibility into every step of the procurement process, from the requisition to the payment. Analyzing event logs and process data, we identify bottlenecks, inefficiencies, and compliance issues, as said by the colleague before, that were previously hidden. With this insight and with the data and the process owner, we implemented targeted improvement that streamlined the process, reduced cycle times, and enhance our organization procurement efficiency and effectiveness. Some relevant data that we were able to analyze: cycle time analysis, work in progress, on hold documents, cancel documents, rework documents, conformance, and at the end, we were able, I'm happy to say that we were able to get down the cycle time analysis from the 25 days to 11 days. That it was a good achievement, considering that spare part management, for example, is something basic for the operation. The second project that we started is a very interesting process too, because we focus on plane maintenance process, and that really is interesting because encompasses everything from fault detection to repair and maintenance execution. The project presented a lot of challenges due to the complexity and interdependence of the various activities involved in plant maintenance. We are talking about the maintenance workflow, the redundancies that we can have in those processes, and drilling down into sub-specific processes, detection, permission, warehouse management, execution. And really, it's something that is really appreciated by the company. My final 10 seconds is to say that if we are able to understand which are our main process, we are able to give responsibility about the KPIs management and taking the right decision. Process mining is really a good tool in order to deep dive and try to understand what can be improved.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you very much. So I think we have been able to go through three examples, very inspirational, I would say. Three different needs to be addressed. So customer experience, efficiency and change. So insight to be captured, through data in order to provide, let me say, additional value within the company. So that's, again, at the end, if we try to find a common, in all cases, the core of the transformation and the adoption was data, okay? And again, we cannot talk anymore about, today, just about artificial intelligence or process mining. Those are technology, but without data, nothing will be possible, okay? So data is the real asset for all the companies, and we need to invest on that. And then we need to understand how different technology can provide value, leveraging those data. In all these cases, I believe, there was an investment before, getting to the technology, which is on how to collect information and data, because, without that, it couldn't be possible to do anything. But I think this is just to also clarify that when we talk about process mining, basically, we are talking about something which is broader, which is about data and how data can help, in transforming and generating value. So if we move more about the how, I think it would be interesting to understand then, okay, we got some examples. It seems, very easy, based on the on the narrative, on the story we heard, great achievement, value, impact. But, the question is that easy or it requires some best practice? This is something, I would like to go through, our guests to get and understand. But before that, I will provide a bit of our point of view, based on the consultant point of view. So typically, what we see in this kind of transformation, I try to simplify. Typically we are much more complex, but we have three real success factors in this case, which needs to be taken in consideration. Otherwise, any implementation probably will fail, or will be very limited on piloting or pilots implementation, which does not generate any value. So the first one is the scoping. It's very important, and we heard about that, from our guests, to understand where, in which area we want to start. Let's start from saying that process mining is very transversal across the company, can add value in all the function, of the company and in all sectors. As I said, in some cases, like when the need is a compliance, we have specific sector where, the value can be higher, like, as I said, financial institution, insurance, where the authority is super strong and regulated. But otherwise, when we talk about customer experience, I think it's pretty much from everywhere. And customer experience is not only, when we have customer, of course, but even employer experience, okay? Then it's a way to improve the experience of our employees, okay? Could be then moving from procurement to finance, HR, everywhere, is possible and can be generated value through process mining and AI. When we start implementing, it's very important to start understanding what is the scope and what is the roadmap, okay? Scoping means having a clear focus, okay? When we believe there will be a value, and then, rolling out, across the organization, scaling up the usage of it. So this is the first one. Second one, the approach must be incremental. If we start saying, okay, we have a company, we want to make it across all the function all together, it will not work. It will not work for several reasons. First of all, you will not be able to engage the organization, the entire organization, on that side. Second, you need to concretely, deliver value soon or in the short term. If not, the investment, you will not have any return back from the investment done. So that's why when you plan an implementation, you need to identify, clear milestone after 6 months, in order to say to the organization, to the company, there is a value here, okay? If not, if you promise something after 1 year, or if you start with some pilot, very small, nobody will understand, what is the value. And again, this is one of the main reasons for failure, Third point, this is, very different, from company and company. This is a cultural approach, okay? So introducing a technology like process mining, making transparency across all the processes or key processes is not easy to be accepted. So you will find, people, going against, the adoption of this solution, okay? First of all, because sometimes transparency means that you find, way to optimize, and, that's not easy to be accepted that you are the owner of a process which is, which can be optimized even 50%, so can generate value. So when you are the owner, then typically why you are managing, this kind of process, and in this way, and this is one. Second, because then this can provide a lot of efficiency, and you need to find a way to find, for other people which were focused on some maybe low value activity to find a job for them, okay? This is another reason why typically, culturally, the company don't want to invest a lot on that side. What does it mean? It means that when you start an implementation, you need to have a strong buy-in from the organization. You need to have involvement of all the functions, all impacted function. And you need to start also, once you adopt the solution, a change management, activity across the company, to improve the level of adoption and to scale up the solution. The solution, I mean, because where the value, this solution can bring value. So that's why, when we talk about implementation, in this case, it's even more important than, the technology itself. If we do not take care about those dimensions, probably, you will make only pilots, okay? POC, nothing concrete. And this is a pity, because we saw in the beginning the potential value of this technology is amazing, and the market is growing. But, you know, I think this is, you know, a view, but it's more important, I think, and useful to get the view of our guests and concrete cases, where we go a bit through those, you know, elements. I would start maybe from Antonio. Understanding, I'll make you a question. What were, if any, because any challenge during implementation, what did you face during the implementation?
Okay, to answer you, I take the cultural ballot right now, because maybe the biggest challenge has been and is right now faced with the culture in our organization, culture of our management, culture also of middle managers. Okay, because maybe when you show a technology across the company, and you are aimed, okay, by a good purpose, so create benefit, generate value, and so on. But on the other side, maybe you have two kind of managers, okay. On a side, you have the manager that that is an enthusiastic one, so he wants to start ready, so he push you to go ahead because he understands the potentiality of the technology. He understands that maybe have a tool that can inquiry his processes, maybe can generate also efficiency, and then can improve the whole department. Okay, so that's the one you have to take care in order to have the flagship pilot project, the one that I said before, in order to have also a scale up in your organization and to get the investment in order to buy a suite, to buy licenses, and then also approach with a configurator, a system integrator, in order to have to implement your roadmap. Because you, as you said before, you can start with a pilot project in order to show the benefits of the technology, but then you have to start with the roadmap, with implementation. So you need to be concrete. On the other side of the river, you have the one that just denied technology totally and say you are not my cup of tea, because I don't want to be inquired, because I already know every pain point in my department, and I don't want a team of nerds, more or less, that inquiry in my house and say me what is the pain point and how I can improve also the KPI of my department. Those are the one that you have to face and be zen in order to go ahead, because I guess that the most important thing is not lose the focus on your vision. Okay, so the large organizations are so complex, and you have a lot of opportunity. So if you focus with on the boundaries, maybe you crash on it. You need to across the boundaries and go ahead and bring it home the goal. And then maybe these kind of managers are the one that will push you when the technology is adopted and the culture and of the technology is already adopted in your organization, that will knock your door and push you in order to start with the projects. And of course, it's so easy to start with the account payable process or invoice processes or account receivable process, because there you have a lot of money to manage. You have a lot of efficiency to do, but of course maybe those are also the kind of manager that are so hard to approach with this kind of technology, and then you need to be patient and you need to wait maybe the second or the third year. So to answer your question, maybe the biggest challenge is right now also the cultural, because we are in a phase we are in the first year of our roadmap, and right now also on the operating phase, we are facing with the cultural boundaries. Sometimes someone say, but I have a lot of dashboard and KPI on this process. Why I need the data process mining? Because data process mining is something else. It's everything is the word behind the KPI, and you need to be aware what happened behind your KPI, and that's the greatest value you can bring your organization. So I hope to answer your question, and I also leave Giuseppe answer.
Thank you. No, very, very interesting, and also happy that it was in my list. At least, you know, there was a concrete, it's a confirmation of that. Going forward, I think we said also that one of the key challenge is also how to scale up. So what's next? So Giuseppe, when you look at your case, you started now, you achieved already something, but what's next? So are you planning a scale up or additional scale up? Or what is going on? What's happening?
Thank you, Gianfranco.
Yeah.
Let me say, your list is correct. It's the same for us.
Thank you.
And we started 2 years ago to an incremental approach. We defined a new competence center for process mining in Poste Italiane, and in particular in my team. And we have trained ourselves to harness all the complexity, all the capability of this solution. Last year, we put in place 4 pilot projects, more to test our organization than the solution, because the solution are on the market. And all the things that Antonio said are the same, was the same in Poste Italiane. We prove in 3 different business areas: logistic, insurance, logistic for account receivable, in insurance claim, and in financial, the postal saving. And this project really was a change management project. Next step is to, in our strategy, comes expanding the process mining and the process intelligence in general to all the main processes, in particular the process that has an important impact on our customer. We are on the even new phase of privatization, and we think that a strong execution capacity will be required. We believe that to build a digital twin organization, that is the first slide that you show, is really a way to aim to the new challenge. And we hope that we are able to make the right choices for our customer at the beginning.
Thank you, Giuseppe. And Thomas, I think we talk about challenges, how to evolve and whatever. For you, are you thinking about a new way to use process mining? What's going to be the usage within your company? Let's say to increase the scope or whatever. So it's something that are you evaluating?
Thanks, Gianfranco. Absolutely, yes, we are evaluating. If I can say something more about that, is that really only for being absolutely sure that process mining is not substituting anything or is the last ultimate tool for doing that. The point is that we are continuing with our data-driven culture. We are continuing defining and giving more insight about the KPIs that where we are able to measure the activities and to take insight. we are continuously developing our algorithm and strategy related to procurement to pay. For example, we understood that was relevant to deep dive in inventory management optimization based in the information from procurement and from plant maintenance, and we are working on right now on that. And even for other products is relevant. And I think that is not only casualty, that even in our organization has been decided that our next MPC, the system that we use for monitoring operation of our plant, will be done in-house instead of being bought. So, but process mining with all the elements that have been shared by Antonio and Giuseppe is really something that can give us a further perspective. I will not repeat what Antonio said about is so relevant the buy-in of the organization and all the levels in order to start. If anyone thinks I cannot improve anything, it doesn't make any sense to do a process mining process. But project. But if you can find, as always, we can find the right stakeholders in the company that thinks that everything can be improved is really relevant. Even our approach has been, instead of really investing a lot of time in buying the solution and so on, we have agreed with some partners that they have the software licenses. And thanks to our data platform, we have a sort of pay when you need. So if we want to analyze one process, we move the data, they do the execution of the process, and we share the insights. I'm not giving you an idea about how to do this business. So, but in any case, what I can say is this, that is really a very nice complement. My experience finally in process mining is that really underscore its transformative potential in driving process excellence and organizational performance. So I hope that we will continue putting some processes under this perspective in order to enhance results. You said at the beginning of the conversation something very relevant for me in so many different consultant exercises that I always said that why we were wasting so much time in the assist and so few time in the to-be conclusion and recommendation. I think that this is a very good tool in order to leverage the rest of action that you're doing in your organization.
Thank you, Thomas. So great to hear all your experience because more than speaking about the theory as I did in the beginning, having real experience helped to have a better understanding on what the technology can do, what can be achieved, what are the challenges, and we learned a lot today. I would say, first of all, which process mining is basically data, okay? And through data is a tool which can, through data, generate value. Could be in providing transparency, can use in many stuff, from customer experience to efficiency to compliance to any stuff. So it's, again, transversal to the company. Then we learned that it's not a matter of what to do, it's also a matter on how. So implementation is core, and different challenges, can be faced from, have a clear on what to do, so focus, value in the short terms, incremental, and, cultural. Company must be with us. If not, will not change. So this is what we learn, I believe. But, I'd like to give you also, some time for question. I think we are, and happy if you have any question for all of us, so on this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
a general question, okay? At the beginning, you all talk about process mining and, generally speaking, digital transformation, right? And you said that digital transformation obviously can bring value, can bring efficiency, can bring transparency. The question is, are we sure that the companies at C-suite level really want transparency? Sometimes, I had the impression, more than impression, that, secret things, hidden knowledge, restricted knowledge means power. Power means career, means money. So, you start with this huge implementation program, but, at functional level, the company is not really to adopt fully, the solution. Doesn't matter, if you talk about sub mining, it doesn't matter. So what's your, impression on this? Because on the transparency, I don't think the company really want that. Thanks.
Your name is Roberto. Okay. Thanks, Roberto, for the question. I can take, but happy if other can complement. I think you touch a fundamental point. Okay, that's why we believe that cultural, issue is the challenge. Not always transparency. This is true. Is what the company wants. What I can say is that today, with this huge focus on digital, willing or not willing, everybody should comply or should live with, transparency. Data is the asset. Everybody. Now, we discover many times that, there is a poor quality of data, a poor transparency, but this is mandatory. You need to make it. If not, nothing will happen. But as we said, it's important that the buy-in comes from the top. It should be a strong push, to make it happen, because resistance, will be everywhere, and this is something that we always face. So as I said, but it's a journey, I would say, that is in the right direction. So people will start, accepting that. I don't know if you want to compliment or.
Yeah, I also add that it depends by the kind of management you have in your organization. Because when you approach with data, if you approach with data, considering them as a support to take a better decision, and this kind of culture is top-down, maybe bottom-up. There is also more willingness and availability, to adopt this kind of solution. But when you have the C-level or the middle management that just scare you on results, and maybe you create also worse vibes, okay, in your organization in order to adopt this kind of solution. So we came back in the cultural point of view, in the cultural ballot. It depends by the approach of the management, of the people, and of the environment in your organization. And in our case, we have both approach, and we started with the kind of management that is ready to approach with data as a support to the decision making. And I hope that this kind of path will generate value not only for the technology but for the whole organization.
Thank you. Any other question? Please.
I'm Francesco Ciuccarelli from Alpitur. While I recognize that, organization, culture, all of that is relevant and maybe necessary to proceed, we didn't talk about technology. In a sense that, process mining has been around since years, okay? I I think that as we are seeing in knowledge management, it is one of those trends that AI could really empower and make, I would say, available really to the mass market. The first question is which technologies did you use? Are you based on an ERP like SAP, which is the basis for understanding the processes? Because this is one of the limitations I saw in the past. I mean, either you have most of your processes managed by, I would say, one of the leading ERPs, or this could be an issue for sniffing, for example, how the processes are effectively run into your company. And the second one is, how did you manage to integrate all the other data in terms of the technology you used? I mean, what is the architecture? What are the technologies you put in place? And I mean, do you think this could be available in most of the companies out in the market?
Yeah, thanks, Francesco, for the question. That's a very good question, I would say. Not easy to answer, but I'll try. So first of all, I think, yes, the trend is now to collect and data not only from ERP but from different systems, multiple systems, because processes are more transversal in many cases. And just one example, which is clear, when we talk about compliance, for example, for banks and for insurance, this is the case. Typically you need to map even legacy, and this is something that technologically is possible now. To connect and to collect information in order to map, the process and provide insight on that. But even more important, as you mentioned, I think this is also what our guests are doing. Architecturally, what does it mean? It means that we collect, we map, but all the data which are into the system are, let's say, in a way used by the data lake or data platform, where with a combination of AI, then you can provide additional insight and push for full automation, okay? So addressing the pain point highlighted, with, a fully automated process. And the typical architecture is you collect, you go on the process mining, so you map, then you move data relevant in another environment, and then you have typically artificial intelligence, RPA, and whatever, in order to make the difference. So this is what is happening. So I don't know if I answered to your question. And also the case of Thomas is pretty much in the direction of collecting information on data, and then building KPIs which are using which are used to provide insight and on that side.
And excuse me, my name is Maurizio. I would like to ask you, what is the contribution of artificial intelligence that you found more useful in process mining?
Yeah, I would say what we've done the most, let's say the core, which is already very mature, is in the space of full automation. So we redesign completely the process. And from a process which is typically long, requires a lot of manual stuff with some pain points, we redesign, we provide a fully automated, mainly leveraging artificial intelligence, which means you need to understand what to do and when to do, depending on the step of the process. And then you have a full automation. Approaching with, I would say, efficiency even within the range of 90%. So this is the most relevant. But also on the customer experience, I think the combination of the two, so process mining, which understand how we interact with the client and how to improve the interaction, leveraging artificial intelligence, is another case where it's very, the combination of the two is adding and generating a lot of value. I would say, just for simplification, those are the two areas where the value is only if we combine the two, like you suggesting. Please.
Yeah, one question about the process mining project. So also you mentioned also we have examples we are always talking about the, let's say, the one-shot project. So you tackle one process and then you move to another process, etc. So my question is, what happened now to the previous process that you already, let's say, conducted process mining, you did some improvements. Is our organization also following like a continuous improvement, continuous process mining cycle, or it's more now the trend, one shot, and then we see later?
No, you wanna take? Okay.
Our organization reacts to this information. We define an improved plan, and we are changing the process based on the insight that we before are known. The new era for us will be to connect the different processes, to know by the interconnection new insight. But the process are at the beginning. We are changing.
Thank you.
If I can add something to this question, and being absolutely agree with Giuseppe, is that even after doing a sort of this analysis, process mining in some process, some other findings that or other sub-product that we can have is that perhaps you are considering new KPIs that you didn't consider at the beginning. For example, in the case of procurement to pay, there was something that arising as something that was a real problem that was redo. So those work that have to be redone by any other reason. So that at the same time give feedback in order to create new KPIs that can be followed and can be monitored in the next step for being sure that you are deploying those new ways of working. So this is another sub-product of this process mining that is really interesting. That, let me say, allow you to understand which was the information that was hidden that you were not following that is relevant to follow.
Thank you, Thomas. I think we are over with the time, so but I want just to thank you, all of you, but mainly I want to thank you, Antonio, Giuseppe, and Thomas for being with us. Thanks again. Happy also to offline to receive questions and to answer or provide deep dive. More than happy. Thank you again. Bye. Thank you.